Kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1902. Terrific ChooseDay. Yes, ChooseDay. So I came up with this idea when, hang on, what's this popped up? Okay, I don't know, Google's doing weird things. So I came up with this idea for today's topic because every day when I get onto the Mailbox Power Chat, where we have a group in Discord, and I always wish everybody had a super fantastic sparkling day. Then I go in and I find a GIF to put in there. And so today I wrote in Terrific ChooseDay, and it actually came, instead of coming up with TUSEDAY, it came up with Choose, CHOOSE Day. And I thought, I like that. What am I going to choose to do today? So I thought that was a very good one that came up. Am I going to choose to be happy? Of course. I'm going to choose to be super fantastic and sparkling. Absolutely. And so I started thinking of other things and putting out that positive vibes and of just, getting your vibrations up. So by choosing to be happy, by choosing to be super fantastic and sparkling, by choosing to find my place of joy, I was raising my vibrations. And I will tell you, it has paid off a lot today. I've been putting out feelers for international moving companies for our move to New Zealand next year. And I know it's way in advance, but it turns out the time of year I'm looking at moving is the most popular time to be moving internationally. And I guess it's because here in the States, it's summertime. There's a lot of moving going on around summertime. People are moving to get kids in place for school for the next year and all that. And I'm like thinking, well, if you go to some countries, you're going to be arriving in the middle of the school year. But so it's like May through August or September is like the busiest time for international moving. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let's get this wheel rolling. And, we've got to find out these companies and stuff. So I'd made a rough list of things I'm going to be taking with me to New Zealand. Now, this list is open to being amended along the way, especially when I put down that I've got 30 boxes of the 1.5 cubic foot boxes full of books. And then I've got like all my genealogy records and all of this and trying to estimate the box numbers and everything else. So I'm starting to get back the quotes. And I thought, oh, there's a quote and yay, let's see how much. Now, I had a figure in my head. I was so surprised when I opened up the quote and it was less than half of what I thought it would be. Less than half what I thought it would be. In fact, it's going to be a competition as to whether it's going to cost me more to get Zephy to New Zealand or more to get my stuff to New Zealand. That's how close it is. It's sort of like it's going to be just that much. And that's based on the information that I sent them. Of course, I've still got a lot of sorting to do. I've got to get rid of a lot of stuff. And they're saying that it goes into a 20-foot container. I was watching a video the other day on the 20-foot container. I even have my little Post-it note with everything written on here. And a 20-foot container is 1,130 cubic feet is the inside. And they gave me the measurements and everything. And I thought, well, I have a spare room that is not 19 feet 4 inches long. It's only about 13 feet long. But I'm only supposed to be taking out, based on the estimate that I have gotten so far, they've given me you take up this much, this much, this month. And I think they've got me, one guy quoted me 3 different prices because it's based on the volume and the weight. And I said, okay, well, how does all of this work? So there's one price for the volume of the amount of space I take up in the container. This is with one company that I take up in the container of the 20 foot. So I think he's got it up to like taking up half, so taking up 10 feet. And I thought, I have a room that's 13 feet wide by 11, so I can easily do like along one wall and just have a foot clearance at the end and pack and start putting stuff into that space to give me some idea of how much stuff I'm actually taking. And then it goes up to, the height is 7'10". Well, the ceiling height in those rooms, I think, is 8 foot, if I remember correctly. So I think these are 8 foot ceilings. Pretty sure they are. So that would give me some idea, but I'm not stacking stuff in the room that high. No way. I might go like 4 foot up and like take half of that and go that high, and then create another volume over the other side to go that high as well. Because the only furniture I've got listed, well, I did kind of sneak a second piece of furniture in there. The piece of furniture I have in there is my bed. And my mum says, well, you can buy a new bed when you get it. I'm like, absolutely not. I said, I haven't even had this bed. I've had this bed just over a year, and I absolutely love my bed. I am not selling a bed that's only 2 years. I'm not selling my bed when it's only like, not even 2 years old when I come to move. So, that's out of the question. And I really, really like my bed. I do realize it's going to be a little different on measurements when I get down to New Zealand. So, but I have enough linens for that bed. That's okay. Because I just remember when Mum and Dad used to buy king size sheets over here. I think they were bigger on the beds and bigger than, because they bought king size sheets here, and when they took them back home, they were bigger on their bed. Yeah, I think their beds are a little, anyway. But anyway, so I want to take my bed with me. And then I was like looking at all my other furniture, and I'm like thinking, nope, it's time to let this go, time to let that go, and da-da-da-da-da. And then out in the garage, I have this really cool oak buffet sideboard thing, which has got three drawers across and then 3 cupboards underneath. Well, it's actually one big cupboard, just 3 doors on it. And when I got it from a secondhand store. And my dad made this really cool top to go over top of it. And I've got a packing blanket over the top with this piece on top of it. And it's my workbench, and it keeps my tools and stuff in it. And I've always liked this piece. And I thought, it would be nice at one point if I can have a place where I can bring it inside and use it in the dining room or the dining area and stuff. So I'm kind of looking at that thinking, maybe I will. And it's solid oak. It's beautifully made. And it's got, it's just in perfect condition. And it only cost me I think it was like $90 at a secondhand store. It was one of the best investments I've made. I thought, maybe I will take that with me. And so I've put that in there for the quote. Like there's a few things I've put in there for the quote, and I'm still like, do I take it? Do I not take it? And like one thing that I put in there that I did put my speakers in there, but then I realized I'm going to have to find a woofer that can handle these speakers and be up to the quality that these speakers are. And I thought, maybe I will just sell the whole lot as a set. So I'm going to put my Definitive speakers out there. They're all my Definitive Technologies Mythos series of speakers. I've got 2 number ones, which are just under 4-foot towers. I've got 2 gems, which are the back speakers, and I have the a Mythos 3, which is the center speaker. It is a center speaker. It is not a sound bar. There is a difference. And then it's got the woofer to go with it. So I'm going to sell the whole set. And I've been pricing them out individually, seeing what other people are selling just the separate pieces for, and then coming up, this is going to be the whole set. So I'm going to sell the whole set. And I'm just finalizing price. If people want to take the 2 tall speakers, it's going to cost this. If they want the 2 gems, it's going to cost this. If they want just the woofer, it's going to cost this. If they want the center speaker only, it's going to cost this. But if you buy them whole together, it will be cheaper than buying the components individually. Package deal, you see. And then I'm like looking around, and so I have this list, and I'm like going through this list, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to put in there what I think I'm going to take, and then from there I will pull out the pieces that I'm on the fence about. So it's going to take the price down. But here's how it all works. So they have the one price, which they come in, they do all the packing, they put it into the container, they ship it, and it's door-to-door delivery. They get to the destination, they unpack it for you, they unpack everything for you. They put together any furniture that needs to be put together. And I'm like thinking, great, I don't have to put my bed together. Yay. So they will unpack everything and take away all of the packing materials and everything else. I'm like, I like this. Like they bring everything in, they take everything off. Yeah, this is awesome. It will take 14 to 16 weeks to get down to New Zealand, or 14 to 16 weeks from pickup to delivery. And that includes but that time could change based on how long it has to sit in customs and quarantine. Yes, my household furniture my household stuff will have to sit in quarantine for a certain amount I don't know the amount of time, at wherever they come, whatever port they come into. So I'm not sure which port they're coming into. It would be advisable if they come into Wellington, because that's the closest one to me. And so there's that portion, and then the insurance, they actually go by weight. And so I was looking at this going, oh, wait. And then it said like it was $12 US a pound. And I was like looking at this, and they're saying, they estimate their biggest portion, taking everything into account with the weight and everything else, the biggest estimate they have is that I was going to be bringing down 5,000 pounds. Well, 5,000 pounds, was it 5,000 pounds? I think it was. Hang on. 36, 12, 36, 6,000 pounds. I think it was 6,000 pounds. Because it came out to $36,000. And I was like, oh, that's a lot for insurance. But then I went back and read it again. They base it on $12 per pound. So I said, okay. And then and then it's like 2.95% of that figure is what you pay. So I was like, oh, that's just over $1,000. Cool. And then I added that to the estimated shipping stuff along with that. And I'm like, looked at Zeffie and go, it's going to cost about as much to get my stuff down there as it is to get you to New Zealand. So that was a nice surprise to me today. And so I was just like, oh, I'm so thankful for that. And then I had another company contact me, and they wanted me to go into their inventory. I have to tell you, going into some of these people's inventory, they just have this screeds. It's just on one screen. It's just, and you got to click the letter at the top. And when you get down there, I couldn't find the items that I wanted to take, like books. They had bookcases. They had, bookcase, 2-shelf, bookcase, 5-shelf, the different size bookcases and things in there. But nowhere did they have books where you could estimate how many books you were going to be taking. And then there was like nowhere for documents. And like I'm going through and I'm like thinking, this is all furniture stuff. I'm only taking 2 pieces of furniture at this point. Oh, hi, balloons. See, I'm choosing to be happy with balloons today. I'm only taking 2 pieces of furniture. The rest is going to be boxes of stuff like photographs and photo frames and artwork and genealogy documents and photo albums and, just stuff that is not furniture. And all my kitchen stuff, like plates, like all the crockery in the kitchen, all the silverware in the kitchen, all the kitchen utensils, all my bakeware, all of that's going to be coming with me as well. And so I said to them, you don't have anywhere on here. None of the stuff is on your list. So here's my list of what I'm taking, and you guys can figure it out. And so one guy said, well, the list is really good, but what we need to do is we need to get on Zoom and do a virtual survey. I said, well, how does that work? They said, well, we'll get you on Zoom and you walk around the house and show us what's going. And I turned around and went, oh, that's not going to work. I said, I have my Mac, which sits on my desk. It's a desktop Mac, and that's where I sit and do my Zooms. I said, I'm not sure how I'm going to do that from my desk. And then he even said to me, he says, are you available tomorrow morning or Thursday morning? Yeah, not going to happen. And I'm thinking he's probably going to want me to do it on my phone. I don't do Zoom on phones. I've tried it a couple of times. I just can't get it to work how it's supposed to work. Plus I have so much stuff that I'm busy sorting through because I'm going through boxes, determining what stays, what goes, what gets sold, what gets donated, what's trash. I have a trash bag going. I have a box for donations going. I have a box for selling going. I have the box to keep going. So I'm going through, I actually started that process of going through stuff. And so there's stuff everywhere around the house right now. And it's a mess. And it's really hard to turn around and say to somebody, well, look, here's part of my book collection. See all these boxes in here? About 5 or 6 of them are full of books. And then we go in this room and see those boxes over there. There's about 6 or 7 of those that are going, and taking them around, showing them all the different places where I have boxes of books, all the different places where I have files, because I just, these are in banker boxes, to give them some idea on size. And at least I gave them sizes. I actually went out and measured the buffet and gave them the sizes for that, gave them the sizes for, told them it's a king bed with mattress, split base, and frame. And so, telling them all these little bits and pieces about what's going. And if this is going, then I've got artwork that needs to be going. I said, I've got a couple of oil paintings. I said, one's framed, one is not. I have different photo frames around that, of different size frames with photos in that need to go as well. So I'm, trying to be as descriptive as I can without like running around and trying to find the boxes, because I've got one box I do have to open it very carefully because I know that the glass in one of the frames has broken. Because I opened up the box, I lifted up the first piece that was in the box, and all I can hear is tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. So there's broken glass inside that. And I'm just like, yeah, That one I'm probably going to have to do over the trash can. When I open that one, so all the glass and the piece of paper around it goes straight into the trash, and I just hang on to the frame. And then figure out how to get the photos out of the frame and just drop the frame, and we'll figure out a new frame for it later on. So I've got stuff that I haven't been able to take out because I can't hang any pictures on the wall in this place. In fact, that purple thing over there, that is a box that's got my oil painting in it that Brad and I bought when we were in Hawaii for our second wedding anniversary. Well, it wasn't for our second wedding anniversary. We're actually over there for Christmas. We just happened to have our second anniversary while we were there. And Brad's mum had taken Brad and I and his 3 boys with us to Hawaii for Christmas. And so on our second wedding anniversary, we're out and we go into this art gallery that was across the road from the hotel resort that we were staying in. And there was this gorgeous painting, and we're sitting in this room. And they had the lights lowered with just these little what sort of lights were they? Halogen lamps that were coming down on the picture. And it is this gorgeous, gorgeous painting of the volcano on the Big Island exploding. And the artist, when he did the painting, he actually consulted an astronomer. And so he made sure that the stars that are in the painting are in the correct place. And I thought that is so cool that he went to that amount of detail. But the cool part is that if you have these halogen lamps coming down over the painting, you can adjust the dimness on these lamps, and different areas of it will light up. Like you can have it so the lava that's flowing down the mountain lights up. You can have it so the stars are lighting. It was just we absolutely fell in love with this painting. And so we bought it for our second wedding anniversary. And what the cool part was is that the artist then, when he found out that we were buying his painting, what he did is that he has a smaller painting, which we don't have framed, but it was just about this size. And he had this little painting in the middle of it. And he had actually written on there, wishing both Brad and I a happy second wedding anniversary. And, thank you for buying my art and wishing you a happy second wedding anniversary. And then he signed it, which I thought was really cool. And it's a piece I've always wanted to get framed. So that art piece is sitting in that purple thing over there, along with the other art piece that we have, a couple of other art pieces that we have in there as well. So that's kind of already, I don't know if the movers are going to repack it or if they will take it in that, but I can't hang any artwork up in the house unless I get permission from the landlord. And I have a lot of pieces to hang up. I love hanging up photographs and being able to walk down the hallway. You know how you walk down hallways and there's family photographs all on each side and all that? That's what I love to do. I love to have those pictures up so I can walk down and it's like walking down memory lane and stopping and reminding myself the story that was in that photograph. So I'm getting very dry. So being able to walk down the hallway and see all these memories and everything. So I can't wait to get my own place where I can actually start hanging this stuff. I'm going to have to find a very special place for that piece of artwork, though, that volcano one, because it's a really cool piece and absolutely love it. And it brings back great memories of our trip to Hawaii with the boys and my mother-in-law for Christmas. We had a great, the 6 of us had a great time. My oldest stepson, we were at this one restaurant and then we had buffet every morning for breakfast, and we went down and he discovered fresh pineapple. Like, we're in Hawaii, you got fresh pineapple on the buffet. And he would come back with a dinner plate piled with pineapple, and that would be all he would eat for breakfast. Just a plate full of pineapple. So there's lots of cool memories. And, we go, and there was the Swan. What's the name of that restaurant? We were on Maui. It was either the Hilton or the Sheraton. It might have been the Sheraton that we were at. And you walk down this great big sweeping grand staircase, and you look out and it's floor to ceiling, completely opened up. There's a pond down that comes into the restaurant area with swans and ducks in it. And then you look beyond that and there was the ocean. It was just a fantastic view as you walk down this big sweeping staircase into this beautiful restaurant area. And you could sit there, and they had the little walls built up with rocks and stuff for the edge of the pond. And you could sit there and the swans would be out there just walking around and swimming around. It was just magical. It was a magical place to be. And then we went and stayed on the Big Island at I want to say it's called the Waikoloa. I think it was called the Waikoloa. I think that's where we bought the painting. That's where we bought the painting. Yeah, that's where we bought the painting, was in the shopping center across the road from the resort. But, I love my pen. And then, of course, I have my new pieces of art up there that was done by a neighborhood kid. And I got a knock on my door one Sunday afternoon, and there's this kid. His name was Gabe, such a really sweet kid. And he's walking around and he's selling his art that he had done. And proceeds were going to go to a charity. And I thought, this is really cool. And his dad was there with him, and his dad would stand back, let him do his thing. And then he kept looking over his shoulder at his dad, am I doing this okay? And like questioning things. And his dad would prompt him every now and again, like he'd forgotten what his sales pitch was and all of that. So I ended up buying 2 of his pieces of artwork. And then I said to him, I said, there's something wrong with these. He goes, what's that? He goes, what? And I said, you haven't signed them. I said, you have to sign them. So I went and got him a Sharpie, and he then signed his pieces of work. I said, you can't be selling your work if you're not signing them, because people won't know who did them. So he just signed them with Gabe. And so I have 2 of his pieces up there. One's an iguana, and one is some little alien thing that you can just see the edge of on top of the purple thing. So I can't wait to get those framed and be able to hang those up and just tell the story about this kid, this little kid. He was about 10. And he was going along with his dad, and his dad was there, but his dad would step back far enough that he was close enough to help, but he was back far enough to allow his son the space to do what he needed to do. And the way the kid kept looking over his shoulder at dad to say, am I doing this okay? What do I say next? And things like that. And I think it cost me $15 for those 2 pieces, but it was going to charity. It was supporting a kid being an artist and an entrepreneur, and I was all for that. So anyway, so finding out prices and things has been a very pleasant surprise. And the fact that what I had budgeted for this move is actually not going, well, as far as the actual movers portion goes, is not going to be as expensive as I thought. But I'm still going to hold that money to the side. Still going to make sure that I have that money that I thought I would be spending on this, going to have that to the side for any other things that come up, because there's going to be stuff that comes up, like I'm going to have to be staying in a hotel at some point. There's going to be, the dog has to go to the dog sitters at some point when the movers are here. And then there's going to be the rental thing, because the only way we're going to get out to LA, I'm going to have to sell my car here in Arizona, because there's no way I'm going to get my luggage, Zeffie's crate, into my car all together along with Zeffie. There's absolutely no way that's going to happen, because her crate is not small. It is not a small crate. It is one that is, and it's a International Airlines, it's an IATA approved size crate, and she has to have enough room to be able to stand up. And I tell you, trying to measure this dog was hilarious. We had to get the length of her. So in the end, I had my little trusty tape measure here, and I held the end of the tape measure in my hand with a treat at her nose. And then I quickly pulled it along her body and moved the treat up so her head was in the right position, moved the tape measure along her body and got about 30 inches, because she only had to go to the base of her spine where the tail meets the body. And then for the height thing, I was trying to get there. And you got to get to, because her ears stand up, you have to go from the tip of the ears down to the ground. And trying to get that was a lot of fun too, because she pinned her ears down to her head, and then she would sit. So we had fun trying to get her to do that. So we kind of got a rough estimate, and I sent them off to the thing, and they said, okay, it sounds like she's going to need this size crate. But once everything's signed and deposit is paid, we will then send you a paper template of the size crate, and we need you to put it on the wall and have her stand against it and take a picture of her there, because we want to make sure that she's going to fit based on the paper template. And if she fits with the paper template, then we'll ship you the actual crate, so you can start training her to get used to being around the crate and being in the crate. I said, well, she is crate trained, but yeah, she hasn't been in a crate for a long time, because the last crate she had, she actually figured out how to get out of it and chewed her way out through the wires. This is not going to be one of those ones she can chew out of. So we're going to be doing practice runs with her in there and things like that as well. So it has been ChooseDay today. So what did you choose today to do to make your life better, to put a positive spin on your life? What decisions did you make today that had a positive impact, either today immediately or for stuff that's coming in the future? I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of great things. And I will tell you one thing I did not choose today, and that was to put a long sleeve shirt on. This morning when we went for a walk, I went out in this t-shirt. We got outside and all of that. We start walking. I'm going, it's cold enough that I could almost put on a long sleeve shirt. So that was another thing that helped me choose to have a super fantastic sparkling day, is that was a nice cold walk this morning. So I'm going to have to start watching the morning temperatures, because Some of the morning temperatures coming are getting to the point where we might need a long sleeve shirt on or maybe a sweatshirt, but it's not quite at the point yet where we need to put coats on. And yes, we do get cold enough here in Arizona in the wintertime to have like a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, and then a jacket on. Yes, it does get that cold. And hats, earmuffs, gloves. We do get that cold here, yes. So anyway, oh, before we go, almost forgot, chocolate bar for the day. All right, what's our chocolate bar for the day? If you want to partake in these chocolate bars, just scan the QR code up here. See, I still have my tube of chocolate. This is going to be the last thing that I destroy. I've determined that this is going to be the last thing. So let's see. What do we have in here? That one looks like it's got nuts in it. It's a caramel looking one. No, let's do the Oka Metro Classic. I'm going to try this one today. Got my cookie. I'm going to put that one, repack the box with that at the bottom. Okay, let's see. Metro. All right. I'm going to hold it this way to get the light. The Oka Metro Milk Chocolate Coated Bar, a trinity of flavors, harmoniously united, luxurious milk chocolate envelopes layers of velvety caramel and nougat. Ooh, I love nougat. Okay. Creating an enchanting blend of taste and texture. Indulge in each bite as the richness of the chocolate meets the lusciousness of caramel and the delightful chew of nougat. Elevate your palate with this exquisite creation that promises moments of pure pleasure and an authentic enjoyment. Oh my gosh, this actually kind of sounds like a what are they called in New Zealand? Moro bar. The Moro bar is similar to a Snickers but without the peanuts. So let's try this one. Oh. Okay. I was just reading the expiration date on the back and thinking of the expiration dates on the box. All right. Yum. This is good. There's the nougat. There's the caramel sticking up. Again, nice balance of flavor. Not overly sweet. In fact, it's the perfect amount of sweetness for me. The one we had yesterday had a great balance on the sweetness, and the one we had the night before was overly sweet, but I had to have that with my cup of tea to make it taste different. But this one, could easily eat this in one sitting, but I'm not going to do that. It's going to go back in the fridge, and I'll have the other half of it tomorrow morning. So with that, we are out of here. If you want to grab your box of Chocolate Bliss, just go scan the code up here. It will take you straight to the link on Amazon. And yes, we are Amazon affiliates, so we will make a small commission, but it will not cost you anything. We pay the same price as everybody else. We just get paid a small commission from Amazon, which is kind of nice. So anyway, with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening. And you're going to start hearing more and more stories about our upcoming move and everything else as we discover more things, as we learn more stuff about it, as we get through the mountain of stuff we need to get through. But I am also creating a shred pile. And this is going to be an area where the only things that go in there is stuff to be shredded. And then we'll get a shredding company to come in and take those boxes away. I'm not sure how many we're going to end up with, but I do know that these 2 boxes sitting right here are basically all shred. There's about 5 boxes I got sitting out in the other room there next to the shredder that I have that are all shredding, that are all going to be shredded. So there's a lot of files that we have to go through and determine what gets shredded, what doesn't. I also am thankful too that I have my multi-function printer over here that does scanning as well, because there's going to be a lot of documents I'm going to want to scan rather than taking paper copies with me to help reduce the paper load. I'm just going to scan it and upload it all to Dropbox. Yeah, I think I have enough space on my Dropbox. Somehow I ended up with 2 terabytes of extra space on there. I don't know how that happened, but it did. Anyway, that's it. I'm out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening. We'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific.